All right. Welcome, Tim Forrest, timforrest.com. Hey, this is a second video in my series on importing food products into the United States. You've done the paperwork. We're now at the second stage, and you're ready to ship product and go through the port of entry. Now, the port of entry, primarily, most products that arrive in the United States arrive by two ways: by port, being by boat, so port, but also ports of entry include truck, rail, and air. And a lot of food products, produce items, for instance, come through by truck through Mexico and Canada, along with some other agricultural and farm products as well. So, but they come there. But today we're talking about you've done your prior paperwork. We talked about earlier all the paperwork requirements, being prepared to come into the port, making sure that you're set up with the FDA. You have to have your numbers with the FDA to come in and pass through the port of entry. And so it's important that everything is handled as we discussed in the earlier video. All your paperwork and your numbers are in place so that you can pass through the port. One of the number one methods that the FDA utilizes in enforcing their rules and regulations is by denial of entry. So in working in tandem with the Customs and Border Patrol, they stop food producers, stop international food shipments that are not in compliance with FDA regulations. And so it's very important that you do everything ahead of time so that when you are ready to ship through the port, that you are allowed to pass through. One of the frustrating or difficult parts is if you do not do things proper, you do not have your right numbers, you don't have everything in accordance with the FDA, they are going to deny entry. So you've got a couple of choices. One, you can make arrangements to have the product picked up and shipped back, or you can pay to have the product sent for disposal. If you have this issue, this is not the end of expenses and problems for a producer that is unable to pass through at a port of entry. What happens is, in the future, you're pulled aside. Your loads of coming into the United States will be set aside for inspection. Wait your turn for inspection. So you're going to have storage costs. Also, this is going to happen ongoing. And a lot of times it's difficult to understand exactly when the product will get through the port. So you're going to be delayed. You're going to have a delayed service issue as well. You want to do everything ahead of time, and you want to make sure you do it correctly so that not only are you not delayed and you have additional expenses for that first shipment, but you don't, for the next year and going into the future, you don't want to be put on a list where you're going to be particularly singled out for additional extra scrutiny on your loads. Second thing I wanted to share with you is prior notice. Before you end up at the port, you must notify through the FDA and the Customs and Border Patrol that you're going to be entering the port with your product. Depending on how you enter is going to be a reference point on the number of days ahead of time. For shipments overseas, so if you're going to float your item here, you're going to need to notify them. I recommend 30 days in advance. If you work with a customs broker, they're going to handle this for you, but it's just something to be aware of. You're going to need to understand everything is taken care of. One of the things they do inspect is that your product's packaging meets the FDA requirements. So you will need to have packaged the product appropriately to go through the port. Also, your product codes and your export broker can work with you on that. And once you arrive at the port and you clear the port, and then your product is either going to go to your warehouse that you've arranged, and you can arrange, there's plenty of public warehouses in the United States where you would you leave the port, and then you're delivered to a local warehouse nearby, and that is held in storage until you're ready to redistribute it. I hope this part 2 has been helpful. If you have any questions or comments, you can send me a note at tim@timforrest.com, or jump over on my calendar. If you have an innovative product that you'd like to bring into the United States, jump on my calendar, tim@timforrestmarkets.com. Thank you very much. If you're seeing this anywhere other than timforrest.com or my YouTube channel, Tim Forrest, youtube.com/Tim Forrest Consulting. Jump over there, like and subscribe, and thanks for watching.